Good afternoon. My name is Logan Lasky, and today we're doing the flight planning and execution project. I just want to preface this by saying that I was not able to use the simulator at my flight school to show what I was going to do. It's been down for the past week, so I have been limited to a simulator I downloaded that is not Microsoft or one of the approved ones. So I do not have capabilities of flying a fake airplane, and I completed my instrument rating 4 weeks ago. So therefore, I'm going to go over the introduction. We're flying from KJFX to KMSL, and today we're going to be talking about and utilizing the G1000's functions in its entirety in the best depth of knowledge that I have, and showing you that I know how to use the G1000. All right, so here we go. Here we have the PFD, the audio panel, and the MFD, and let's go. So for our flight plan overview, I'm going to start by building our route in uh, for flight, and I have us taking off from KJFX to the GPS waypoint FRNNS, Friends, and then we're going to go to KMSL. So here I have some briefing, the MEDARs, and the prognostic chart that I would brief before I fly. I would go over the I'm safe checklist as well as PAVE and make sure I have everything ready for this flight. Go over NW Craft, some NOTAMs, make sure I have everything prepared, and then I would file this flight and for flight and then pick it up in the air so I don't have to talk to ATC and obtain a craft clearance and just expedite the process. So here we go. Let's get into the function. So here we are. We're going to load the flight plan before I contact ATC on the ground. And the way I would do that is by pressing the FPL button, the flight plan button. And then I would use my big knob, scroll to the origin, and not the top bar, but the bottom bar, and then scroll with the little knob to KJFX, spell it out. I could input that whole knob and then scroll down to destination, not the top bar, but the bottom one below it, input KMSL, and then I'll come up to the en route area. And the reason I do the top then the bottom is so if I want to choose airways, I can put that in that middle area and it'll automatically know which airways and which waypoints are in between those two um, points. So once I have my en route loaded, I will just enter and then come back from the flight plan because now I have it loaded and I don't have anything activated. I don't have anything going, but I would most likely do this all on the MFD because it gives you a bigger area to work with. And it's when you do the flight plan on your PFD, it's just small in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, so you don't have as much to work with. So quickly, while we're on the MFD, we looked at our engine RPMs. Some of our gauges are all in the green: fuel, electrical load, battery, everything that you'd want to be checking in the pre-flight. So moving on to flight en route. I've taken off out of Walker County and I'm now in controlled airspace. I will pick up whatever directions ATC provides me. And this is when we're going to get into a little bit more of the programming of the system. So, what I have loaded in is I have an autopilot. And what I'll do is when I take off and I get close to that 1200, I'll go ahead and hit heading FLC, heading FLC, nose up or nose down to get me to that 80 knots. Once I have that, I'll hit AP and it's going to capture the altitude I have set. And I already had 3000 set. So now it's going to be capturing that 3000 and maintaining the climb in whatever heading I have selected. So the heading right now is at 320, but just imagine it's north. And we're flying north on a heading of 320, and then once directed, if they put me to a waypoint or intercept or vector me to intercept my course that I have loaded in, then I can do a few different things, but most likely what I would do is just hit nav. But if I hit nav and it's kind of taking me in a weird direction or turning me around, what I could do that'd be better is hit the direct to button, hit one of the points that is on my route, and direct myself to the actual um, track that we're wanting to follow to friends. And all while this is happening, I'm monitoring my airspeed, I'm monitoring, my altitude, and monitoring my engine instruments as well. And to point that out, something else that I would do once I'm establishing cruise is I'd hit engine, lean, and then lean, adjust the mixture until I'm lean perfectly, with the bars being the biggest they can be. And that's how I know I'll be in the good sweet zone in the lean, and just have my engine performing as proficient as possible. So now that we're getting close to KMSL, we're gonna load the RNAV run into runway 12. And the way we'll do that is we'll hit the procedure button, select approach, we'll select RNAV GPS 12, we'll select the baro for our minimums 850 off the approach plate, and then we'll hit either load or activate depending on if we've been cleared for it from ATC. And if we're expecting to get into it right away, if we're pretty close to the initial approach fix, go ahead and activate it. Or if they say expect JOPTA for the RNAV 12, or you've been cleared for the RNAV 12, just go ahead and activate it. And the first thing you should do, especially when flying something with a glide slope or glide path, is hit the approach button. So it automatically captures your glide slope. And then what I have to kind of show what that's going to look like is on the right here. I have our indications for pitch and for lateral guidance. In this example, I'm flying the ILS. It's a localizer, and our full scale our scale deflections are here. So you'd want to be monitoring, trying to keep your green diamond right on the center and keep your green arrow right in the middle, and do the best you can by maintaining that 90 knots, and coming down to your minimums. And then once you're at your minimums, there's a whole list of things that you need to have to get in to make the decision to land, but this isn't really about that. This is about utilizing the G1000. And in this case, let's say we don't have what we need, we can go ahead and push the throttle in, at the same time hit the go around button, and then nav FLC, depending on if we're flying a GPS route, or we can hit heading, or we can just hand fly the missed approach procedure. So climb 27 direct, hoopock, and hold. So that's how we do the go around. And then also we'll talk about a hold and how to suspend a hold and stay in it. So let's say we're flying that initial approach fix, and they say, hey, stay in the holding pattern. And then, maybe if we made a procedure turn, we're already in the holding pattern, so we can just hit suspend, and that will keep us there in the hold until we want to depart the hold and continue. We'll hit suspend again. And then while we're talking about soft keys, if we want to fly GPS or localizer, it will switch it over automatically. But what you can do is hit CDI, and then we can squawk down there with our transponder. Let's say it says squawk 2000 or 1500. You can hit the XPDR and then put in whatever numbers we need. So that's how that'll work. And let's see, reflection and improvement advantages of the G1000 is huge situational awareness, terrain features, incredibly helpful. Direct 2, I love the Direct 2, and I love that it displays wind, and I can kind of gauge how to make my landing based off the wind direction, if I'm going to have a crosswind or not. And some suggested improvements, faster input method because this knob takes a long time to turn. Customizable declutter presets, that'd be cool if you could edit the displays. Larger font options, that'd be cool. And automatic airway exit previews. In conclusion, I think it is a wonderful piece of equipment that enhances situational awareness and safety. And it's pretty easy to use once you master it. And I hope to get better with it. I've only got 35 hours with it, so hopefully continuing my commercial, I can really utilize all the great features and become really proficient using the G1000 and build upon that. Thank you very much.